நீங்கள் பார்த்து கொண்டிருப்பது உங்கள் RSKV யூடியூப் சேனல்.
Income Tax Inspectors Exam 2017 Paper 4 Office Procedure. Question 1. In a case where a government servant is allotted government accommodation, the date of discontinuance of HRA is A. From the date of occupation, B. From the 8th day of allotment. Answer A or B, whichever is earlier. Question 2. The leave travel concession to hometown HTC is allowed for the distance of any distance. Question 3. Find the true statement. It can be only changed once during entire service. HTC can be changed only once during entire service. Question 4. Government employees whose headquarters and hometowns are same can avail the HTC after declaring any other station as hometown only for HTC purposes or cannot avail at all. Question 5. Children's education allowance is not admissible for the period of dies non. Question 6. In the case of retirement, discharge, dismissal or removal of government servant children, education allowance will be payable till the end of academic year. Question 7. The employee posted in the Northeast region is entitled to 2 times house rent allowance, HRA. Question 8. As per X, Y and Z categories of cities, for calculation of house rent allowance, HRA, the government servant posted in city Ahmedabad would be entitled for rate of 24%. Question 9. The government employee is entitled for HRA for the purpose of duty. Question 10. In case of travel by air, the maximum joining time admissible is 12 days. Question 11. In case of transfer of a government servant to or from northeastern region, including Sikkim, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep and Ladakh, additional time shall be admissible over and above the normal joining time is 2 days. Question 12. Mr. X, a permanent government servant, has been transferred from Sikkim to Kanyakumari. The road distance travelled between the stations is 3040 kilometers. The total joining time can be availed by Mr. X is 17 days. Question 13. At places where no specific rates has been prescribed, then the journeys performed by government employee by its own car or taxi, the rate will be 24 per kilometer. Question 14. Surplus or obsolete or unserviceable goods of assessed residual value above rupees 2 lakh should be disposed of by A. Obtaining bids through advertised tender, B. Public auction. Both A and B. Answer both A and B. Question 15. A report of transfer of a gazetted government servant duly made in the form GFR 33 and signed both by the relieved and relieving government servants has to be made in the case of transfer of charge except in the case of transfer of charge except in the following case. A. Where a gazetted government servant assumes charge of a newly created or vacant post or relinquishes charge of a post which has been abolished. B. Where a gazetted government servant vacates a post for a short period and no formal appointment or officiating arrangement is made in his place. C. Where, due to administrative exigencies, a government servant is required to move to another post, relinquishes his post against local arrangement. Answer D, all of the above. Question 16. Performance security should be valid for a period of 60 days beyond the date of completion of all contractual obligations of the supplier, including warranty obligations. Question 17. Subsistence grant means a monthly grant made to a government servant who is not in receipt of pay or leave salary. Question 18. The conditions for treating training as duty is subjected to the conditions such as the period of training should not exceed 1 year. Question 19. Additional pay granted to a government servant to save him from a loss of substantive pay in respect of a permanent post other than tenure post due to a revision of pay or to any reduction of such substantive pay otherwise than as a disciplinary measure is called personal pay. Question 20. Compensatory allowance means A. An allowance granted to meet personal expenditure necessitated by the special circumstances in which duty is performed. B. It includes a traveling allowance. C. But does not include a sumptuary allowance nor the grant of a free passage by sea to or from any place outside India. Answer D, all of the above. Question 21. The allowances granted to professors of medical colleges who are denied the privilege of private practice should be treated as compensatory allowance. Yes. Question 22. Fee means a dash payment to a government servant from source other than the consolidated fund of India or the consolidated fund of a state, whether made directly or through the intermediary of government. A. Recurring. B. Non-recurring. Answer D, both A and B. Question 23. Honorarium means a dash amount granted to a government servant from the Consolidated Fund of India or from the Consolidated Fund of a state as remuneration for special work of an occasional or intermittent character. A. Recurring. B. Non-recurring. Both A and B. Answer. Question 24. Pay does not include the amount drawn monthly by government servant as emoluments earned for putting in extra time on duty. Question 25. Subsistence grant means a monthly grant made to a government servant who is not in receipt of either A. Pay, B. Leave salary. Either A or B. Answer either A or B. Question 26. The reasons for the grant of a compensatory allowance should ordinarily be recorded in the order sanctioning the allowance so as to enable the audit office to watch the classification of the allowance. In cases in which an official record in an open order is considered to be undesirable, the reasons should be communicated dash to the audit authority confidentially. Question 27. Month means complete calendar month irrespective of the number of days in each first be calculated and odd number of days calculated subsequently. Question 28. Temporary post means a post carrying a definite rate of pay sanctioned for a limited time. Question 29. Time scale pay means pay which, subject to any condition prescribed in these rules, rises by periodical increments from a minimum to a maximum. It includes the class of pay hitherto known as progressive. Question 30. As per CCS Classification, Control and Appeal. Rules 1965. Commission means Union Public Service Commission. Question 31. Central Civil Services. Classification, Control and Appeal. Rules 1965 are under Article 309 and Clause 5 of Article 148 of the Constitution. Question 32. Department of the Government of India means any establishment or organization declared by the President by a notification in the official gazette to be a department of the Government of India. Question 33. Disciplinary authority means the authority competent under these rules to impose on a government servant any of the penalties specified in Rule 11. Question 34. Classification of service, that is CCS Group A to Group D, is done as per CCS Classification, Control and Appeal Rules. Question 35. The case of suspension during pendency of criminal proceedings or proceeding for arrest, for debt or during detention under a law providing for preventive detention shall be dealt within the manner as specified in CCS rules. Classification, Control and Appeal. Question 36. Recommendation of which commission had been considered in the light of the comments received from the ministries with reference to deciding that public interest should be guiding factor in deciding to place a government servant under suspension. Committee on Prevention of Corruption. Question 37. As per CCS Classification, Council and Appeal Rules 1965, reasons for suspension be communicated on expiry of dash months period if no charge sheet is issued 3 months. Question 38. The provision of dash of the Central Civil Services Classification, Control and Appeal Rules 1965 deals with the review of suspension. Rule 10. Question 39. Major penalty does not include withholding promotion. Question 40. The minimum and maximum penalty for failure to comply with the notice or under section 142/1 or 143/2 is rupees 10,000. Question 41. Time limit for completion of assessment order under section 143/3/144 is within 12 months from the end of the assessment year in which income was first assessable. Question 42. Time limit for completion of assessment or reassessment under section 147 is within 12 months from the end of the financial year in which notice under section 148 is issued. Question 43. Time limit for completion of order of fresh assessment in pursuance of an order under section 263/264 is within 12 months from end of the financial year in which the order under section 263/264 is passed by the principal CIT or CIT. Question 44. Write-off of arrear demand report is to be sent quarterly. Question 45. The time limit for imposition of penalty under section 271E of the IT Act is within 6 months from the end of the month in which penalty is initiated by the additional or joint CIT. Question 46. In which section of the IT Act the time limit for completion of assessment and reassessment proceedings are spelled out? Section 153. Question 47. The time limitation for completions of assessment or reassessment in the Wealth Tax Act is prescribed under section 17A(17). Question 48. The Chief Commissioner, with approval of the full board and the finance minister, has been given power to write off irrecoverable tax arrears demand over 50 lakh. Question 14. As per Central Action Plan 2017-18, cash collection target out of net collectible current demand is 20%. Question 50. As per Central Action Plan 2017-18, all replies against brought forward receipt audit objections to be sent by 31st August. Question 51. The instruction number for compulsory manual selection of cases for scrutiny during the financial year 2016-17 is 4 bar 2017. Question 52. Up to how many years from the relevant assessment year the assessment can be reopened if the income in relation to the asset is located outside India? 16 years. 16. Question 53. In a case where a search and seizure operation under Section 132 has been conducted, the relevant assessment years can be reopened under Section 153A. Question 54. In a case where assessment is reopened by issuing notice under Section 148, dated 30/3/2024, the assessment must be completed by the AO within which date 31/3/2025. What is the main reason to reopen assessment under Section 148? Income escaping assessment. Question 56. Which one of the following is not correct? A case where search under Section 132 has been conducted is normally reopened under Section 148. Question 57. This statement is not correct. Question 57. In a case where search under Section 132 of the Income Tax Act 1961 has been conducted on 15/8/2020, which is the first or oldest assessment year to be reopened under Section 153A, annual year 2015-16. Question 58. Which one of the following is correct? Central Action Plan is a guideline for the field formation of the Income Tax Department. Question 59. As per Central Action Plan for the financial year 2017-18, annual target for disposal of tax recovery certificate by each TRO is 150. Question 60. Finance Minister approves cases for write-off of arrear demand amounting to above rupees 50 lakh. Question 61. Zonal Committee for write-off consists of 3 CCITs. Question 62. AO can write off case of demand summarily without any further enquiry amounting to rupees 1000. Question 63. Which section of the Income Tax Act 1961 allows write-off of an arrear demand? 159, 158, 153. Answer D. None of the above. Question 64. In which section of the Wealth Tax Act 1957 time limit for completion of assessment and reassessment proceedings are spelled out? 17A. Question 65. In a case where order of CWT bracket A is received, the order under Section 18/1C can be passed by within 6 months from the end of the financial year in which appeal order is received. Question 66. Assessment under Section 16/5 of the Wealth Tax Act 1957 can be made in which of the following situation? A. Where return of income has not been filed under Section 14/1 or 15. B. Where no compliance is made in response to notice under Section 16/2 or 16/4. C. Serving on the assessee a show cause notice before making best judgment assessment. Answer D. All of the above. Question 67. Penalty for failure to furnish, return, comply with, notice and concealment of assets etc. is contained in Section 18/1. Question 68. Time limit for issuance of notice under Section 143/2 is 3 months from the end of the financial year in which the return is furnished. Question 69. Initiation of penalty under Section Dash of the Income Tax Act 1961 is necessary at the time of passing the assessment order. 271/B, 271/1/B, 271/1C. Answer D. All of the above. Question 70. Penalty in addition to tax, where search has been initiated under section 271 AAA or 271 AAB. Question 71. Penalty for failure to comply with provision of section 269T is under section 271E. Question 72. Penalty for failure to furnish statement is under section 271H. Question 73. Power to reduce or waive penalty in certain cases is under section 273A. Question 74. Written receipt register with also helps to identifying stop filers and non-filers. Question 75. The demand and collection register DNCR is useful to the additional CIT or JCIT in checking A. The quantity and quality of the AO's work. B. The performance in respect of disposal of assessments and collection of demands. C. Nature of AO's control over the staff in respect of issue and service of the demand notice, refund vouchers, giving effect to appeal orders, etc. Answer D. All of the above. Question 76. Arrear demand and collection register ADCR is maintained for a period of 3 years. Question 77. Appeal register to be maintained in the assessing officer is in form ITNS 61. Question 78. Search and seizure register maintained by range additional bar JCIT should contain A. Disclosure of if any under section 132 bar 4. B. Date of initiation and completion of search. C. Date of receipt of appraisal report. D. Answer D. All of the above. Question 79. Register of assessees liable to advance tax ITNS 122 bar R is maintained for the purpose of monitoring advance tax payments. Question 80. The Code of Civil Procedure, Chapter 5, Rules 930 specifies the manner of service of court summons. Which one of these is not a valid service by ordinary post? Question 81. A summons may be issued under which section of Income Tax Act 1961 to enforce the attendance of an assessee or witness or to compel production of books of accounts and other documents on a specified date under section 131. Question 82. Distance limitation for the personal attendance under section 131 of the Income Tax Act for issuing summons are A. If the person resides within the local limits of the issuing authority's original jurisdiction. B. At a place less than 50 miles. C. 200 miles when connected by railway or other public conveyance from the office. Answer D. All of the above. Question 83. Tax has to be deducted at source in relation to the payments made to contractors and subcontractors is under which section of Income Tax Act 1961? 194C. Question 84. If the payee other than company or firm files a declaration in writing duly verified in Form Dash that the estimated total income for the assessment year following the year of credit or payment will be less than the minimum liable to income tax, no tax should be deducted at source. Form 15H. Question 85. The maximum quantum of penalty to be imposed under section 221 bar 1 which could be imposed is equal to 100% of amount of tax in arrears. Question 86. To protect the interest of revenue during the pendency of any proceeding for the assessment or reassessment, the assessing officer is empowered to make a provisional attachment of any property of the assessee even though there is no demand outstanding against the assessee under section dash of the Income Tax Act 1961. 281B of the Income Tax Act. Question 87. Rate of interest under Section 220(2) of the Income Tax Act 1961 is 1.5%. Question 88. Execution register is maintained by the TRO or TRI. Question 89. The procedure for service by post is valid service as per General Clauses Act 1897. Question 90. The power of right of Chief Commissioner of Income Tax and Commissioner of Income Tax are up to rupees 15 lakhs and 10 lakhs respectively. Question 91. If the outstanding demands do not exceed rupees 5,000, it may be written off under ad hoc procedure for write-off. Question 92. What is the maximum number of days of EL that can be encashed during the entire service period while availing LTC? 60 days. Question 93. What is the maximum number of days an employee can draw HRA during leave without pay? 180 days. Question 94. During temporary transfer, HRA is admissible dash up to 90 days at the rates applicable at the old station and beyond that at new station rates. Question 95. Under which of the following conditions HRA can be drawn in favor of the government servant who is living in his own house? He should furnish a certificate that he is paying or contributing toward house or property tax. Question 96. Children's education allowance or hostel subsidy is raised by 25% every time the dinner's allowance on the revised pay structure is increased by 50%. Question 97. For the purpose of home travel concession, entitlement of employees are divided into 5 categories on the basis of level in the pay matrix. Question 98. During deputation abroad, HRA is admissible to a government servant at the rate applicable to HQs up to dash without production of any certificate to the effect that the family resides at the headquarters. Answer: 6 months. Question 19. A home travel concession is billed under the head salary. 100th question. A retired on superannuation on 30th September 2021. His son was studying in class 10 during that time. Please select the correct statement in respect of entitlement of children education allowance from the following. A is eligible for CEA for the study of his son in class 10 during the academic year 2021-22.